that was being fought in piecemeal, he said, as well as unfolding very dramatically in various countries, especially Ukraine, as well as in Palestine, Israel, Lebanon, and Myanmar.
And as we know, then after his hospitalization from the 4th of July, July 4th, 2021, lasting 10 days for surgery at the Agostino Gemelli Polyclinic, Pope Francis on 14 February 2025 returned to the same hospital for a 38-day stay due to bilateral pneumonia. And back in the Vatican, he spent his final weeks at Casa Santa Marta, dedicating himself to the end with the same passion to his patron ministry. Though not fully recovered, we saw him on Easter Sunday, on April 20th, 2025. For one last time he appeared on the loggia of St. Peter's Basilica to impart the solemn Urbi et Orbi blessing. And then he drove around on the papal mobile and greeted the faithful who had gathered at St. Peter's. And then he left us the following morning. We see these beautiful images coming live from the Basilica, the cardinals and the bishops, beginning the procession which would lead us to the beginning of this solemn celebration of the Eucharist.
The deed that was placed in Pope Francis's coffin, as we await the beginning of this Requiem Mass, recalls that his doctrinal magisterium was extremely rich. It recalls that he often offered a witness to a sober and humble life.
In his hands, in his coffin, rested at ground level, without a catafalque. The Pope himself had made this change to the papal funeral liturgy. The ceremony began with the reading of a document listing the stages of Jorge
Besides political leaders from around the world, there are representatives, several from the Hindu religion, Sikh and Zoroastrian, as well as Jain. There's also a sizable representative from other Christian confessions besides Catholicism, including the Patriarch of Constantinople, Patriarch Bartholomew. There are also representatives and representatives of the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate of Alexandria and Antiochia, as well as Jerusalem. The Patriarchate of Moscow has also sent a delegation, as well as the Serbian and Romanian and Bulgarian patriarchs. There's a host of other ecumenical delegations, as well as addresses every Sunday and his Wednesday general audiences. The Pope would often conclude with appeals for peace in all parts of the world, for all sides to dialogue. He always invited everyone to dialogue, to talk. No matter what was going on in the world, he believed that the solution was to sit down and talk to one another. We all recall the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic and the extraordinary Statio Orbis that he held on the evening of March 27th, 2020. The Pope prayed alone in St. Peter's Square, the colonnade symbolically embracing Rome and the world. We recall that this was a frightening time, and humanity had been stricken by the unknown plague. The final years of Pope Francis's pontificate were marked with numerous appeals for peace against the Third World War that he called